What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Looks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Only I, in the current iteration of the last week and a half, could shut down the Indiana Pacers offense. Here's the thing. 239.5, we get Halliburton ruled in. It closes at 245 everywhere. Tons of closing line value. You know what I can do with that closing line value right now? Shove it. I could absolutely shove it. Going to take a miracle here in this second half to get this over across the board. Again, it was only a half unit. Haven't started the main thing that matters, the main event. But I did short Tyrese Halliburton points, mainly because, well, rumbling is tumbling 27.5. Gigantic number. Gigantic number. We'll see how this ends up coming to fruition. But just 2 games on the board yet again here for Tuesday. Wild stuff. I am forced to really, really put in the work for you in season tournament. Hard to put some of these minutes projections together. I will say that. It is an absolute struggle, especially the night before. We're going to get news. Things are going to change, but got some unders on the board here for a long way, so you got to stay tight. And then you're looking for their last play of the game, my favorite play of the day in the Phoenix LA game. But smash the like button as we get going. Don't really have a whole lot to talk about here on the onset. We got BetMGM. We got Odd Shopper. You can sign up down below. Amazing stuff. Again, the Discord itself used to be $20. It's now $14.95 for everything. That includes the tools, the positive EV tools, the fantasy optimizer if you're on Prize Picks, if you're on Underdog, if you're playing some of these other sites, you have an opportunity, if you have legalized sports betting in your state, to take advantage of the positive EV tool. And then if you don't, you've got the Underdog. You got yourself the Prize Picks. You can get those for the player props that I will be also referring to. There's quite a bit of correlation, although you're looking just for heavy favorites over there and correlation. Those are the 2 things I want to throw in there. But you know what? We also have a parlay builder for all you parlay people. I know you're out there. You have an opportunity to throw that together no matter what sportsbook you're at. You can do it by state. You can do it so many different ways. So friends, check out Odd Shopper for just $14.95 for the week, $49.95 monthly. That does it for me. Again, it sells itself. It's fantastic stuff. And hey, you will see very, very shortly, it's smarter than me. I don't want you to know that. Never mind. We're going to continue on here. We got a lean like lock from every single one of these 2 gamers. Actually, we don't have a lock from the first one, but we'll get to that. Lots to get to. You know the drill. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. Similar to my skincare routine, which is beautiful, luscious, lovely, yum, 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 yum. I don't know. I just feel I'm like in my feelings. It feels good, smooth. Things are nice. I shaved for once in my goddamn life. But the Knicks taking on the Milwaukee Bucks here in this one. What I'm getting at is it's been smooth sailing here for the Bucks of late. Really like it was always going to work out at some point in time, but 14-6 now, plus 2.8 adjusted net rating. We're starting to see the pieces come together. They are second in the entire NBA in effective field goal percentage. They are finding ways defensively to at least survive, and then they're getting players to the line at the 3rd lowest rate on the opposite side of the ball. So opponent free throw rate, way down there. But speaking of, this is a game that shouldn't have a ton of possessions, if you ask me, and that's where we kind of begin our program. This is a Milwaukee team that is up in pace, 101.9 possessions per 48 minutes, but this is a Knicks team that is big, lumbering, and the slowest in the NBA at 96.1 possessions per 48 minutes. They like to grind out the clock. They like to do those things, especially with Julius Randle, who last year got phased out of that rotation quite a bit in crunch time, in second halves. It was wild. That's not going to happen this year for a couple of reasons. One, he's playing a lot better, figuring out how to manage his minutes and not have to play him 42 minutes, 44 minutes a night during the regular season, although that could change for this game and this game alone. And number 2, you don't have Obi Toppin on this basketball team anymore, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but the options that they have to get away from Julius Randle don't really make sense because they don't include size. You're talking about Evan Fournier, who's questionable with an illness. That doesn't matter. But specifically, Jericho Sims is so bad, there's not really a spot for him here. Now, Isaiah Hartenstein, not going to share a floor with Mitchell Robinson. Dante DiVincenzo, Emmanuel Quickly, Josh Hart. They're just nowhere for the Knicks to go other than to ride the highs and the lows of a Julius Randle come playoff time, which makes you think maybe they should do something, anything to try to bolster this roster ever so slightly leading into those playoffs. But this is kind of a glimpse at seeing what some of those playoff rotations can look like. Just saying, Julius Randle, there's nowhere for them to go other than to him on the floor for tons of minutes. But we begin with a lean, and this is where, with no possessions that are really up for grabs there, Milwaukee playing the slowest team in the NBA. I think we're going to find some value looking at some of these unders on the rebounding side of things for the Bucks, mainly because the Knicks, one of the best rebounding basketball teams in the entire NBA. In fact, opposition against them, we're talking opposition offensive rebound rate, third best, 22.3%. Sacramento, Orlando, a little bit better rebounders than them, but yeah, they're really, really good at that. And then themselves, offensive rebound rate, 30.2%, second best in the NBA. Now, I'm saying this because defensive rebound rate, that ends up being a little bit tighter over a little bit of time, mainly because, offensive rebound rate, they're the more difficult rebounds to achieve. Missing shots, being able to force teams into difficult shots, that's going to be how you increase that defensive rebound rate. And then obviously they're playing at a slower rate, so there might not be more rebounds up for grabs, but I hope that makes sense. I think I kind of talked in circles around it, but here's what I'm getting at. 7.5 rebounds for a guy like Bobby Portis. This is a large number, if you ask me, considering the size of Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein coming off the bench, but also just the rebound rate, because Josh Hart, one of the best rebounding threes in the NBA, and I don't think it gets enough attention. I feel like I've talked about this for years and years and years, but Josh Hart, 6.2 rebounds per game in 28.4 minutes per game. When he's playing 35, like they will have in a lot of these playoff type situations, you're going to see him averaging around 8.5, but didn't really see a number that I was that excited about, but pay attention to that one. I'm leaning towards the under, though, of Bobby Portis in this spot. 7.5 rebounds, a little bit too high for me. I get it. He's the guy who probably fills in the most off the bench. He has the last couple of years. I don't know why that would change. You got Marion Beauchamp, Campaign in the membrane, Robin Lopez. No way. Don't do that. But you're looking at a very tight rotation there with Lillard, Beasley, Middleton, Antetokounmpo, and Lopez. And I think they want to close with the Beasley-Middleton kind of situation there. And Brook Lopez, he's the one guy that it's just hard to get a grasp of what these minutes could be. But Middleton, he's been pretty hard capped, has not exceeded that 30-minute spot. And I don't think we're going to see that here, even in a spot that's quote-unquote playoff-esque. I just think they're going to continue to be cautious with him. 29 has been the high point of his minutes. I'm not going to exceed that. But I think that just pulls minutes away from Bobby Portis here compared to what we've had for him of late. They have guys like Pat Connaughton. He's off the injury report. I don't know what to make of it. Pay attention to it, though. You saw 23 minutes there for Bobby Portis last time out. He averages just 23.6, but these minutes have a lot of volatility for him specifically based on how Brook Lopez plays, because they're going to need him on the floor for some of the size, specifically Randall and Mr. Mitchell Robinson, who otherwise will have a heyday here in this spot. Speaking of, there's one guy who's definitely locked into minutes, and this is just too big of a number based on what we've seen on his own team, let alone with the opposition that he's facing. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 10.8 rebounds per game. Some people will look at that and be like, oh, obviously the 11.5 matters. No. Because I'm projecting Giannis Antetokounmpo here in this spot for 39 minutes. Still, the under of 11.5 projects out well because of the specific matchup. Again, slower pace, fewer possessions, fewer missed shots, fewer missed opportunities for those rebounds. Secondly, you had Josh Hart, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson on a floor for quite a bit of time. Again, Josh Hart coming off the bench. Quentin Grimes probably just going to be playing that 16 to 18 minute type role for them here in this spot. I really like the under of Giannis Antetokounmpo, 11.5 rebounds. Not enough to lock it. We're not going to pop lock and lock it, or I tried. We're just looking at the under of 11.5 rebounds here for Giannis in a spot where, yes, he's going to be on the floor a lot. And I know a lot of people don't want to take unders. And it's like, Eric, I know there's going to be some spots. You could go for 15 rebounds and you're going to look really, really stupid. But it's a range of outcomes thing. And the range of outcomes has me preferring the under of 11.5 rebounds. Speaking of that, I don't have a lock from this game for you. It's a very difficult one to bet. Again, the lower possessions kind of creates a baseline where, yeah, if you want to look at laddering anything, I thought about throwing Mitchell Robinson rebounds out there for it, mainly because, well, he kind of benefits as well not having an Obi Toppin where they've gone to some of those small ball closing lineups in years past. And Mitchell Robinson, getting foul trouble, gets a little block happy. But 32 minutes of him, I'll think about it. There's a number of plays that I think could become something if the numbers adjust, but I think you want to be on the right side of this one by being on the under. Bobby Portis under 7.5 rebounds. Thinking about it, with the one play, half unit, Giannis Antetokounmpo under 11.5 rebounds. It's just a good play. This is also a good play. If you haven't signed up at BetMGM, friends, $1,500 in bonus bets available for the taking right meow down in the link below, friends. 2 months also of Odd Shopper tools and Discord access coming along for the ride. Baby, are you coming for the ride? That's a Willow Smith song? Interesting. Where does my brain go sometimes? But here we are, friends. BetMGM, another sports book that you can add to your portfolio, and you want to have as many sports books signed up as humanly possible so that when the best line becomes available, and that is especially important when we talk about the lock from this next game, you really can take advantage, and over any long period of time, you're going to keep more money in your pocket. If you knew how much money you were saving by shopping for the best line every single day, you would do nothing but, I promise you, if you're betting $120 instead of $105 on a specific bet, don't you want that $15 in your pocket? Well, guess what? It automatically goes there when you shop for the best lines on something with a 15-cent difference. So do that by signing up at multiple sports books and then getting a bunch of free stuff while you're at it. $1,500 in bonus bets. That's the maximum that you're going to get when you sign up down at the link below, as well as 2 months of Odd Shopper tools plus Discord access. If you're 21 and over, if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. To the last game of the night, the main event. This is the game that Star highlighted. Beautiful stuff here. Phoenix, 1.5-point dogs heading to LA, which is a little bit jarring, but you're getting Phoenix starting to get a little bit healthier. You do have Eric Gordon, though, questionable for this one. Bradley Beal continues to be out, 11th straight absence. We'll see what ends up happening. Again, he's considered doubtful, but it's not officially on the injury report, which today, it really caught me by surprise that a lot of people don't know that you can just look up Google NBA injury report, and there is a legit site where you could look up the injury report like every hour on the hour. You should know that there is a big injury report at 5 p.m. Eastern time every single game, local time of that game. I don't know why people don't know this. We bet and talk NBA all the time, and I had to explain that to somebody who I thought was sharp and now has proven otherwise. Anywho, we're looking at Phoenix here plus 1.5 at LA and 228 total. We're not going to be screwing with that one, or are we? I'm leaning towards the under of it purely because Anthony Davis, you get game environment that I think is going to be a high octane. Really enjoyed this matchup in particular, and you look at the pace of both of these teams, not exactly going to go beating down the floor back and forth nonstop. Again, a 228 total should already show you that, but Phoenix, the 4th slowest pace in the NBA. That's what happens when you're playing a lot of half-court sets with Nurkic and Kevin Durant. Then obviously this Devin Booker fellow, who we will talk about a little bit later. But you've got the Lakers. I don't know what to make of them come playoff time and how these minutes are supposed to break down because Cam Reddish isn't good. But Cam Reddish has been playing an ton of minutes here, and I don't think you can have him out there for 28, 29 minutes here in a playoff-esque environment. He's gone down to 20 and 24 minutes the last two, but he was playing like low 30s, upper 20s, low 30s there for a while. I got to think we're getting away from that sooner rather than later. And the Lakers, they've got guys that are starting to get healthier here as well. Taurean Prince, Rui Hachimura, lots of pieces coming back to party for them. And then got to also talk Jared Vanderbilt, who made his debut there on the 2nd of December. So a lot of muddled pieces. Not sure exactly how this rotation breaks down for them, but one thing I do know is that even with LeBron James being the only guy who's like officially questionable for it there, I think the under of 25.5 should he play is a pretty decent spot, mainly because the Lakers, yes, they want to go out and win this, but more than anything, they want to keep LeBron James at bay. And now I think they have Liberty, a little bit more to do that with here. Jared Vanderbilt, got him in around 16 minutes. Max Christie, 18 minutes. Rui Hachimura, 19 minutes. And then Austin Reeves playing a massive ton here off the bench. I would assume that there is a chance for him to carve out a much larger role as opposed to Cam Reddish, and a chance, like last season, for D'Angelo Russell to take a minute downgrade. I've got him at 33 right now, but that is very volatile. If he is not knocking down shots, you could see him get ripped off the floor earlier. But with that said, that's 9 guys in this rotation. And sure, LeBron James, he's the elite guy. You want him out there for 38 minutes. You need him out there probably for 38 minutes against Phoenix, but still, I don't think this carries the same weight to Lakers fans, for an in-season tournament that it might for some other teams. So I'm just going to throw it out there. LeBron James under 25.5, I think is a decent half unit ad, but there's one play to rule them all and one play to find them, and I'm a little bit floored by the number here. Devin Booker has for his PRA 40.5. It's juiced minus 140 at Sharp Sportsbooks. It is down inside minus 115 at a number of other places, including our friends BetMGM. So like friends, this is an absolute Hulk smash with no Bradley Beal on the floor and with Kevin Durant on the other side. Yeah, he's going to share duties here with Kevin Durant, but he's going to add some to the assist total here as well. And they've been primarily happy to play through Devin Booker here in recent spots. 34-10-7, 28-11-5. We're talking about a number of outings here of late, 45-4 there against Memphis. Memphis absolutely getting torched by Devin Booker the last couple. Not that I care about player versus matchup, but you go to his baseline here, 28 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 8.5 assists per game. Just doing the math, 28 and 6, that's 34. 34 and 8.5 is 42.5. And it's a matchup upgrade for them in terms of pace. The Lakers, 100.3 possessions per 48 minutes. So I'm getting a 2 PRA difference between what he's averaging on the season and where this line is set at 40.5. And then I'm adding a pace up spot for Phoenix in relative to the Lakers. I don't understand this line. Devin Booker over 40.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Your best play on this 2-gamer, again, just 1 unit play. We're not getting carried away. But again, I gotta imagine this close is at 42.5, especially if Eric Gordon ends up sitting. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. So you know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite play that exists here on this 2-gamer. Talk me into something, anything. I need love and affection here. It was a tough week last week. Not going to shy away from those kind of things, but feel good about the plays. I feel good about the process. We're going to keep it rolling here, my friends. Make sure you are signing up, getting everything we have there at OddsShopper. Do some of this great work yourself. Shop for the best odds. Find the best sports books that you feel confident in, such as a BetMGM. Fire them up and know that you have money in 3 or 4 different spots, so you can take advantage of the best line, save yourself some money over time. That is what profitable sports bettors do. Thank you to producer Jacob. Really good stuff here, per usual. Yeah, I'm going to just stop talking. Do I really want to go watch Cincy and Jacksonville? Yeah, no, we're going to just definitely watch some NBA on the treadmill. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Tuesday.